Welcome to DBSync's What Our Customers Are Saying About Us Now, where we talk about data integration, successes, and the problems that clients have brought to us to solve. For those joining us for the first time, we're one of the leading providers in the integration and replication services, and we've worked with a variety of mid to large size companies for over a decade. Basically, our motto is, if you've got a database and an open API, we've got an integration solution. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Tim Stevenson, the partner of finance at the United States Compliance Corporation. Tim's company is an industry leader in the electromagnetic hypersensitivity compliance administration and consulting services for firms that are located in Canada and the US, as well as Mexico. Tim first came to us about 2017 with some typical challenges of upgrading a system, not having information going to other systems, the accounting team not getting the information they needed, certain things not getting sent out, something that DBSync is very familiar with. A lot of our clients face these exact same challenges. So we were very eager to accept this challenge and hopefully make Tim's life and his entire organization's life just a little bit easier. So first, I want to welcome you, Tim, and thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
And so I mentioned you've been with us about 3 years or so. Do me a favor and tell us a little bit more about the specific problems you were having, maybe a little bit more about what your company does so we understand how those problems are significant, and then how DBSync was implemented to help solve those problems.
Absolutely. Absolutely. About 3 years ago, as you said, we had implemented Microsoft Dynamics, and that was to help with our project management. And, obviously we have many factors that we needed to work with our clients. We do some subscription work and we do project work. And one of the areas that became difficult for us was managing projects within a client. And where we reached out to DBSync was the area that we needed to make sure these got billed properly. And we had a few human error factors that came in. Is when someone would complete a project, we weren't told by maybe that department that it needed to be billed. Right. And so we needed an integration that when that person completed the project, we were notified. We were able to get that down, but then we had a human error factor that we needed to get that data and move it to our accounting software. That's where DBSync came in, and we reached out to them, and they were very helpful in creating a path that would pull all that data over cleanly and not only save us a lot of time, but also help us with, it was just a data pull. The information that was in our Dynamics cleanly brought over to QuickBooks. We didn't need someone manually typing in information where there's other human error factors that can occur. So not only did we get seamless data from our Dynamics over to our accounting software, we also had a time savings. That really was our big thing. A manually entered invoice takes minutes. I don't know how long, but minutes. Now it takes seconds. And if no matter how many invoices we have to pull over in a day, 1, 2, 20, or 30, it's a touch of a button and they're over in minutes, and it saves us a lot of time, and accuracy is 100%.
Yeah, I mean, as you might imagine, of course, that's our goal. And certainly being in the compliance industry, I imagine there's little to no room for error. So you can't be playing around.
It's frowned upon, certainly.
Yeah. So we're always curious, what was it that brought you to DBSync in the first place? Was there something that stood out about our product that helped you make the final decision? Because we know we've got a lot of formidable competitors, so we're always curious about what helps us stand apart from the rest.
That's a good question. And I actually thought about that a little bit. A lot of people are kind of selling the same idea that we will pull your data from point A to point B. And some of that stuff gets very, very technical. I would say just the communication and the customer service is what made us comfortable. Undoubtedly, when we started, we thought, boy, if this doesn't work, we'll go look at vendor number 2 or vendor number 3. Your customer service, they were very helpful. They dug in. they actually understood probably better than what we did on how it works.
Yeah.
We just said, we want the revenue from the dynamics to turn into an invoice in our accounting software. They dug in, they really helped out and just kind of took over on the technical side where we just couldn't help. So it was a shaky time just understanding and moving into something we've never done. And honestly, they did, knocked it out of the park.
I'm so glad to hear that. I know we have a very talented team, and of course, that's always our goal. And I'm one of those who is not as savvy as some of the others on my team. So I always admire that not only are they good at what they do, but they put you at ease and don't make you feel like you're, bumbling along and, totally confused. So I'll make sure to pass that on, because I don't know if you've had a chance, but I do know that several of our clients had said, hey, you guys rate really well in the app exchange. So a lot of times that's because we have such a great support system that communicates extremely well. Now, you've talked a little bit about your improvements, particularly what a time savings things were as far as energy, the resources. Talk a little bit more about how those improvements have been implemented in a little more detail, if you can, around the company. But can you put it into kind of an ROI, a ballpark figure of what that might look like since you've had a few years as far as savings? Or is it really just about time?
That's a great question. We haven't dug in too much into the ROI on the savings. I will tell you that it has allowed us to not have to expand operational expense on the accounting side. We have grown considerably in the last 3 years. We haven't had to add any headcount into our accounting department.
So that's got to add up to something.
It does. And so I'm not sure how you would do the math on that, obviously, but there is a time savings, and however many minutes it might take to create an invoice multiplied by the amount of invoices we bring over each month is considerable. And there's no question about that. And so although we haven't been able to attribute it to hard dollars, we know that there is a savings. We are well aware that we haven't added headcount to our accounting department.
And I imagine also that, again, the peace of mind, not having to deal with the potential for a lot more errors and stuff from human error and manual entry and all that, definitely there's been some savings as well.
That has been some savings. And then a big area for us is honestly the time it would take to review all the projects to make sure, okay, this was completed. Has it been billed? It was a very manual process. Unfortunately, I would say I'm certain we've missed one before that time. And now it's removed that human error factor where when a project is completed on the client side, accounting's notified, we're well aware, and they cannot complete the project without us being notified. So it's really made a seamless transition from projects completed to timely billing, accurate billing, and
those
accurate.
Those are our favorite words: timeless, seamless, accurate. All of those things are what we strive for. So it's always nice to hear that the things we really believe in or trying to put out there are actually accomplishing those results. So kind of picking up on that then, say you have a company that does similar work to what you do, Tim, and they said, hey, we're looking into data integration. Can you make any recommendations? What might you say about DBSync that would be helpful to them, or that they should look out for as far as what we might be able to bring to them for an integration solution?
It's a great point. And as a medium-sized company, this was a little new to us, right? Dipping our toe into automation, where we used to just say, well, this works good, we're fine. You don't know what you don't know. It really kind of is what came to us. And when we reached out, it was new to us, and we didn't have to do anything, and we could always back up to the way we used to do it.
Sure.
I would say some of this stuff gets very technical. Just reaching out and speaking to somebody, you start to find out that you're a little more comfortable, and you learn that automation is the future. And it's coming whether we like it or not. So it was good for us to do it. I would highly recommend anyone just starting the process, and customer service and support is fantastic. So reach out, speak to them, and if it's not a fit, it's not a fit. But I think you'd be surprised what you learn in your own company, like we did.
Yeah.
And where we're at today versus where we were 4 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible. That's powerful, because I think it's some of the biggest steps are always the challenge. Moving is going to be hard. It's going to take too much work. And then in the end, you find out how much you save, but it's always that initial process. That's a lot. Well, I do appreciate you sharing a lot of these successes and accolades. We all like to hear those, but I do know that every organization has some room for improvement. So what might you recommend to DBSync for some improvements? Maybe it's product innovation. It sounds like our support is pretty good, so maybe our service doesn't need a lot of extras, but anything you could recommend to us to help make the experience a little bit better?
It's a good question. I would say right now, we're trying to find out what else we can automate and what else we can do
Yeah.
better. So as we've dipped our toe into the automation, and our dynamics is really helping with our clients and servicing our clients. What else is out there? And bringing more information maybe to the client. And I've kind of been
Okay.
digging in recently, and have found out that there's some other areas that DBSync can help us out with. And we're actually going to be speaking very soon about other areas that they can help out with, and not only for time savings, which, as you mentioned, helps on the ROI and the bottom line. It also helps the client, helps the company. There's a lot of areas. So again, as just a business person who doesn't work in the techie field, I don't know what I don't know. It was great to bump into when I spoke with someone. They said, we can help you with that. And so we're running down the road, and we'll see if that works as well.
Okay, now that's fantastic feedback, because I think that's really what it is. We try and reach out as often as we can, but I think certainly that's one area where we know that we would like to do a little more outreach, kind of not only talking about what we do, but talking about all the other things that are kind of out there that maybe we could be doing as well. Because as you said, we don't know what we don't know until we know it. And
That's
so we
right.
have a
That's
strong
right.
role in that, and we can certainly help you know that as we know it too. So that's, I think, something that's really worthwhile telling the team. So I'll make sure to pass that on. So I think
Excellent.
that brings us to a close, Tim. Certainly feel free to add anything else if there's anything else you think we've missed. I just wanted to thank you so much, though, for taking the time to tell us your story and sort of share your trials and tribulations, and also hear how we were able to solve those problems and put you at ease. Anything else any other sage words that you'd like to share before we?
You know what? I think you probably nailed it, but we've been happy. It's been great. And we look forward to finding out how we can, grow with DBSync. They've been fantastic, and they're definitely kind of our first outreach to anything technical and anything automated.
That's comforting too, to know that your first outreach was a good one, and we do look forward to a continued fruitful relationship with you. So I look forward to us innovating and continuing to find solutions for you as well. And I want to say to those who are joining us as well, think about what Tim has said, and if you're feeling that you're going to need some data integration solutions, not unlike some of the things that Tim has dealt with, please call us, connect with us. We've got you. So give us a look, and we'll get your apps talking. Thank you so much.